This is Chris. Today I'm going to walk you through our big data projects. Now, to give you some background, let's start with Yelp. For those unfamiliar, Yelp provides a resource for consumers to help them decide what businesses they want to use. We wanted to spin this data on its head and provide business owners a resource to help them make strategic decisions. To do so, what we used was the Yelp Dataset challenge. This is a dataset provided by Yelp that includes about 3 million reviews across a bunch of different cities. The data itself is about 2.5 gigabytes. Next, let's get into the project itself. The website is hosted on AWS and has Flask and Apache as its backend. Here we have the home page. The interface is pretty simple. You can search for your restaurant using its name or choose one of the businesses below. I'm going to search for pizza. Now this performs an AJAX call that then triggers a Spark job to retrieve businesses based on the name. The results are here in a table. You can see that we include the name, the city, state, average ratings, number of reviews, and categories associated with this business. You can click on the top to sort by these different fields. Next, we're going to go into a specific business. We'll go with the most popular pizza restaurant in this data set. We suggest viewers to come check out this app and explore other restaurants, other businesses on their own. Keep in mind that with some of these businesses, if you choose one that has a lower amount of ratings, the report might not be as interesting. So let's go into Secret Pizza. Now, it'll take a bit of time to load the report. That's because it's dynamically generating it by submitting Spark queries to the backend. If I scroll down, you can see there are sections of the report that are currently loading. And when I get back to it, they should be done. To give you a bit of a peek under the hood, what's happening is each chart here is performing an AJAX call to the backend to fire the Spark query. The AJAX call hits an endpoint that then returns JSON. That JSON then gets put into a chart using libraries like D3 and Chart.js. Now next, I'll step through the analysis. Here we have Secret Pizza in Las Vegas, Nevada. To start, we added a summary of performance for the business. We have total check-ins, average star rating, and total reviews. This is to help businesses see how they're currently doing. Next, we step into performance over time. We wanted a metric that reflected the health of the business. Unfortunately, check-ins weren't available over time, so we used reviews as a proxy for activity. One thing to keep in mind is that we wanted to generate a report that would accommodate both sparse businesses with only a few reviews, and businesses like this that have thousands. So that was something that we kept in mind as we generated these reports. We needed to handle issues like missing data. Next, we have a distribution of check-ins by day. This is to help businesses have a better understanding of when customers are visiting. They can use this information to do things like adjust capacity. It's also useful because it gives some insight into the types of customers that they're getting. One thing that I like about Secret Pizza is you can see from their check-ins that the majority of their traffic, the most busy times are after midnight, between midnight and 4 a.m. That kind of tells you that they're getting late night customers, which makes sense because this particular pizza place is located in a hotel in Las Vegas that has lots of nightclubs. From here, we go to average review over time. So this is an indication of what customers are thinking as they're giving reviews. We provided a weighting moving average to help handle issues with sparse data sets. Now this can be useful for businesses because it will help them notice kind of changes in response to changes in their business. So suppose they launched a new menu or they changed management or added new hires. Hopefully they can see movements in reviews to reflect those changes. It can also provide a better understanding to help businesses understand long-term trends. So with this particular restaurant, you can see that the reviews tend to be a bit lower than they were historically. Next, we included a snapshot of useful reviews, as voted by Yelp viewers. We wanted to provide this snapshot because ultimately aggregate data is useful, but sometimes it's best to look at a sample to get an understanding of what people are saying. We hope to include a live feed of pictures and links and reviews, but unfortunately Yelp obfuscated the data, and so that was not possible. They changed the keys, and so we couldn't join this with the live version of the website. Next, we include a word cloud of these reviews. So here we have a summary of what people are talking about in their reviews. We provided this by splitting the reviews into tokens and removing stop words. The size here is based on the frequency of the different tokens. So as you'd expect for a pizza restaurant, the thing that people are talking about most is the pizza itself. Next, we have competitor overlap. Here we have a radius chart that shows what businesses overlap with the one that we're looking at based on reviews. We cut this by good and bad reviews to help provide a better understanding of what types of customers are going to this business. So in this particular case, Secret Pizza has a lot of overlap with Earl of Sandwich, which happens to be another restaurant across the street that also stays open late. Lastly, we have some word clouds that provide visibility into the content of the reviews. Here, we hope to surface reviews that are more likely to surface in good reviews and words that are more likely to surface in bad reviews. This provides strategic value to business owners because it helps them understand the thoughts of their customers. For example, within the bad reviews, we can see words like overpaying, which suggests that perhaps this pizza place should consider changing their prices. Within the good reviews, you can see things that customers appreciate, like refills. On the tech side, we provided these word clouds by generating a multinomial naive Bayes model. We did this by using mlib within Spark. Now this model is trained live as you load this page. It performs data processing by tokenizing the reviews, by removing stop words, and then by performing counts to get the frequency of the different words. From there, a model is trained, and the output of that model provides the probability of a good or a bad review given the particular word. What we display here are words that occur on the fringes of those probabilities. So on top we have words that are more likely to be associated with good reviews, and on bottom we have those words that are more likely to be associated with bad reviews. So that's it for the report for a particular business. Let's go through one more example just so you can see how this looks for another business. So I'll click over to another report, and here we have Five Guys Burgers and Fries in Arizona. I'm going to skip a few of the different sections. So here you can see how the report adjusts for when we have sparse data. For Secret Pizza, we had thousands of reviews. For this one, we only had a number in the hundreds. When we get to check-ins, you can see a different distribution of check-ins by hours. For this particular Five Guys, we see a rush around lunchtime and then another rush around dinner time. There's a bimodal distribution here that we didn't observe for Secret Pizza. When we see average rating, we can see that the rating itself is a bit lower than Secret Pizza gets, but it is trending upward. Scrolling down to competitor overlap, you can see some interesting data as it relates to good and bad reviews. People who tend to give Five Guys, a bad review, tend to also review In-N-Out Burger. That suggests that there is a bit of polarization in burger preferences. Lastly, let's get down to the review content itself. We can see that there's some interesting data, some insights that can be gleaned from the word cloud. Oftentimes, people use words like soggy in their bad reviews, which suggests an opportunity for Five Guys to improve its business by addressing this issue. So that's it for our project. Thank you for listening in.